just need to lay back and pop my back. Yeehaw. Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Matt and this is MotoVlog number 2. That's right. Second MotoVlog. Now, I did get some fairly good positive feedback from the first one. Of course, some negative feedback about my use of lane filtering. It's not really lane splitting, I would say. Now, it's a lovely day here in Colorado Springs. It's, I don't know, I wouldn't say unseasonably warm now since we're getting into mid-March, but hey, it's finally starting to warm up. We're getting into spring. It's finally getting nice. It's amazing. Can finally get back on two wheels. So today I'm going to be talking about a little bit of car news. Now, we had the Geneva Motor Show continuing on into last week, and we have some interesting stuff that came out of it. Now, it's always fun with the Geneva Motor Show discerning what is exactly a concept vehicle and what might actually make it to production. Now, typically you can tell by the distance between the top of the wheel to the wheel arch. Y'all ever notice how concept cars, the wheel seems to fill the entire wheel arch, which, if you look at any car here on the road, any one of them, take this Honda CR-V, you see the wheel doesn't fill the whole wheel arch because that means the wheel actually has to have room to travel up into the arch. So that's usually how you can tell whether or not something at the motor show will actually make it into production. And actually, I gotta make it over this way. So one thing that's for sure going to be making it into production, or should I say producing things, is Aston Martin AMR. Now, Aston Martin announced at the Geneva Motor Show their AMR division, which is essentially their in-house tuning company. Think of it like what AMG is to Mercedes and what SRT is to Dodge. They're going to be taking any base Aston Martin and they're going to make a hopped-up, sporty track version of it. Now they're going to have AMR and AMR Pro. The main difference being the AMR Pro is going to be a proper, stripped-out racing vehicle, and chances are it's going to have string for door handles and have all sorts of stuff taken out of it, for weight reduction, of course, you know. Now, one thing I've noticed with photos of these AMR Aston Martins is they all seem to use this kind of dark color scheme, but with a neon yellowish green. It's like a highlighter neon green. It's like these weird accents, highlighter neon green. I'm kind of on the fence about them, to be honest, and it seems like modern car companies these days, whenever they want to make a sporty version of something, oh, let's just add some decorative neon trim pieces. It's my most gaudy color we can think of, and just stick it in a couple of corners of the car, and everyone will think it's better, and it's great. And in honesty, I don't know, I really don't like the way they look, personally, at least on these Aston Martins. It's like this weird highlighter green. I don't know what Aston was thinking with that. Right, now, next piece of car news, it's something that differs greatly from the Geneva Auto Show, like completely. It actually has to do with the CIA. Yeah. So, the CIA, well, first of all, it's worth saying that WikiLeaks has published over 9,000 pages of a document that basically, in essence, what they say is that the U.S. government and the CIA has considered the idea of using the modern technology in cars. Dude, nice. Has considered using the modern technology in cars to spy on people or to take over cars for like covert assassinations and all sorts of good stuff like that. Well, I'm not going to argue whether that's the case or not, really, though what I am going to talk about is how this is something that people are surprised about, and they really shouldn't be. So, with all these electronics in cars, you've got all sorts of electronic nannies, you've got stability control, you've got all sorts of GPS systems on Star, you get the idea. What people have to realize is modern cars these days, they're vulnerable, especially because one reason the CIA issue was such a big deal was because of the fact that cars don't have any real type of error logging system, any way for it to really track these hackers, so they don't have to cover up their steps. And that is kind of scary. It makes it easy for, prospective hacker to actually get into it. Now, is especially for fans of classic cars and classic car collectors. The original Steve McQueen Bullitt Mustang was found in a scrapyard in Mexico by a man from California who makes Eleanor reproductions. So Eleanor being the 60s Mustang from the Gone in 60 Seconds remake with Nicolas Cage. Here's a picture of it on the screen. Point is, so the guy makes reproductions of those and sells them to people. And he found this shell of a 68 Mustang and said, hey, you know, this is a pretty good candidate for an Eleanor reproduction. Let's bring it back to California and work on it. So he gets it back and, well, needless to say, what he finds after running the VIN number is that, oh crap, this is one of the lost Bullitt cars. And it's kind of ironic when you think about it that he found this Mustang, wanting to turn it into a movie car reproduction, but it turns out to be that it is actually an original movie car from one of the most influential car movies ever made. So there you go. Now, he said he's not going to sell it and that he's going to restore it into original condition, now in condition that it was in the movie. Who knows, maybe in a couple of years it'll roll across the floor of the Barrett-Jackson auto auction. So hey, keep an eye out for it if you've got a spare $1 million lying around. Oh, I just need to lay back and pop my back. Oh, there we go. I swear, the sissy bar on the back of this is like the perfect level to pop your back on. It's fantastic. I love it. Hey, that's what we like to see. Curves. Here we go. Now, if you're wondering where I am and why there's so many trees, I'm cruising through the Black Forest area, just a little bit north-ish, I want to say, of Colorado Springs. And it's a lovely area here. It's just a couple minutes out of town. Some nice back roads, albeit those curves there, there's like 2 curves there. That wasn't a whole lot. But hey, it's a nice, quiet little area. It's a beautiful place to ride. And hey, it's a cool place to visit. And as you can see, a lot of people live here because they like living between trees. Because the trees, they make them feel good. Or something. Let's give it some beans. Oh, there's dirt up there. Let's slow on down. Let's slow on down. But hey, I need to turn this way so I can make it to my, oh, here's some gravel there. To my afternoon college class on time. Oh, lots of gravel. Don't like that. Woo. Man, that's a nice looking Porsche. Any Porsche guys watching the video, comment down below what year, what kind of Porsche that is. I won't tell you if you're right or not, because I don't know myself. I'm not terribly the biggest Porsche guy around. I know some of the modern stuff, but when it comes to classic stuff like that, hey man, I just appreciate it for what it is. Alright, I'm making it back down into the land of the living. You can see Black Forest, that's where I was at. You see why they call it Black Forest? From over here, it looks just black. It doesn't really look like a green forest, it looks very dark. And making it back down into the city, because, not gonna lie, I now need to move on to my morning commute. And make it to my college classes on time, preferably. That would be nice. Now, finally, in the last piece of news, we've got some stuff about the Dodge Demon. Oh yeah, this has been one big piece of hype in the media. Dodge, they've been really clever with their campaign for pushing this, because publishing little sneak peeks and just little things, you know, it really catches people's attention. All right, I'm gonna be that guy. Woo! Yeehaw! Now with the Dodge Demon, the latest information about it is actually just an elaboration on some details that were already shared. They're talking about the sort of things that will be in the Dodge Demon toolbox. If you've been keeping up with this, chances are you've seen the toolbox that is going to come with the Dodge Demon when you spend an ungodly amount of money on what is essentially a supercharged Dodge Challenger. Hey, not gonna lie, I love them. They're really fast. You get this toolbox, and it's full of all sorts of nifty things, and they've talked about now, finally, what's going to be in that toolbox. And honestly, hey, it sounds pretty basic. It's going to be a jack, it's going going to be some wheels, different extra wheels. You're going to have your street tires, and then you're going to have your drag radials. And it's going to be all the tools you need, essentially, to change your tires. And not a whole lot else. Now, the best part of the Dodge Demon Toolbox isn't necessarily what's in it, because if you've done any kind of drag racing or you're a frequent drag racer, chances are you've got those tools on hand anyways. It's nothing really all that special, apart from the toolbox, which looks amazing, but I love what they're calling it. Dodge always has a way with branding things and marketing things. They've always, had a good touch on that, even since the 60s and through the 70s. Well, at least in muscle car terms, maybe not always, but at least on some of the muscle car stuff, you've got, the air grabber hood and all these cool little names that Mopar guys love. And my favorite thing about the toolbox, though, is that they're calling it the Hell Crate. Yeah, the Hell Crate. That just sounds awesome. I mean, it's just some basic tools, some extra wheels with tires on it, but when you call it, the Hell Crate, that's when Mopar guys, they start getting kind of itchy, They're like, man, I need to buy this car. I need to buy it now so I can tell everyone about my Hell Crate. Oh, nasty, nasty gravel. There we go. Well, that's it for the car news today. Now, of course, if you like the video, please like, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And while you're at it, hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you don't do that, you're not going to hear about new videos from me. YouTube has changed the way that their notification system works for subscribers, and that's the only way you're going to find out when I upload a video. Now, if this is your first time on the channel, hello, my name's Matt. I suggest subscribing and checking out some of the other content on the channel. It's not just MotoVlogs. Actually, on the contrary, MotoVlogs are kind of up in the minority here. I do a lot of other videos, and they'll be linked up here on the screen as well as in the description. So check it out. Now, I'm going to be wrapping up the video here. I'm Matt, and you'll be seeing me in the next